Your inconsistency may be costing you more than you think, and not just for you, but also for the people around you. But there is a way to change that. So a couple of years ago, I got into the really bad habit of never stretching after I played football or after I worked out. Stretch! I didn't really see it as a big deal because I thought, you know what? If I play on Thursdays, I can just stretch during the week and I'll be fine. Liar. But if you're anything like me, you know dang well that you're not gonna stretch. And did I stretch? No, I didn't. I would get home exhausted from a long day of work, and the last thing that I wanted to do was exercise or to stretch or to do anything like that. I just wanted to sit and do nothing. Isn't that real though? I know you can relate to where you get home exhausted and you don't want to do anything. So I went the whole week without stretching, and then Wednesdays came along, and guess what was at the top of my mind all of a sudden? That's right. I have to stretch. I have football tomorrow. And then I would stretch sometimes, but what actually happened is that I would still be too tired, so I would wait until Thursday, and I would tell myself, hey, as long as I stretch before my game start at night. So I told myself that I would stretch during the day. Now, I don't know who I thought I was, but I was a teacher and I taught high school students. So I don't know where I thought that I would have the time or the energy to stretch during a full impact workday dealing with students. But anyways, one day my league decided to throw a tournament. And of course, I was like, I'm gonna play, even though I was super tight from not stretching.
You gonna pull a muscle.
And in this tournament, I was killing it. I was doing pretty well. I was catching all my passes. I was scoring. I was getting past the defenders. But there was this one play where I went up against somebody that I refused to let beat me. And he was on the defending side, and I had the ball, and I was running. And he came up to me to try to put my flag, and I just remember dipping. I dipped, got around him, but as I dipped, I felt a pop.
You just pulled 1,000 muscles!
And of course, I did exactly what every intelligent athlete would do when they hear a pop. I kept playing. Then the bruising came, and then it got worse, and then it got worse again, and then it got worse again, until my adductor was completely purple. So the inside of my leg was completely purple. Y'all, I'm black. I was purple because of a severe strain in the adductor. But here's the kicker though. I spent over 1 year in and out of the therapist's office. I spent months out of football because I couldn't keep playing with my injury. Every time that I came back, the pain lingered. It was still there. So I couldn't even push myself. I couldn't show people what I was capable of. I showed my team that I wasn't reliable. In fact, I actually made my team work harder because I wasn't there. But one of the most painful things to me was the fact that because I wasn't at football, I also couldn't show other people God's light. I couldn't show them my skill or my patience or my love because I wasn't there. So I missed out on an opportunity to also be the witness out there at football. And you want to know what finally fixed my issue, my injury, after over a year? It wasn't the therapist. It was stretching. I started to stretch consistently, and that fixed the issue. Something that I could have done a year ago fixed the issue. Isn't it crazy that I allowed so much time to go by to fix something so little? Isn't it crazy that I spent so much time dealing with consequences of my inconsistency? And isn't it crazy that the same bad habits or your lack of inconsistency is impacting the people around you that you love? So even though my journey started with stretching, I learned some things that we can apply to any area of our lives so that we are consistent in the things that matter. And there are 4 major things that I'm going to go over right now. Number 1, you have to start small. Big leaps do not get you the same big results that small consistent steps do. I had to come to terms with the fact that small steps are okay. I didn't need these big leaps to have victory. I could achieve the same victory if I took small consistent steps. I had to put my pride down and be okay with doing something small consistently. I learned that stretching for 2 minutes is way better than not stretching at all. Running for 2 minutes is better than not running at all. We have to learn to build the habit and the foundation, and then we build from there. So you have to start so small that no matter what, you can do it every single day. But then you're gonna notice that as time goes on, you're gonna want to and be able to do more. The second thing that you can learn to be consistent is learn the habit loop. And here's how it goes. First, you have your cue, then you have your craving, then you have your routine, and then you have your reward. Your cue is the trigger that initiates a habit or the action. For example, your phone dings.
He texted back.
Number 2, you have your craving. This is the desire to achieve something. This is the desire to act. This might be the urge that you feel to pick up your phone after you feel the ding. If you're anything like me, it's really hard to just ignore it after you hear it. But that urge, that's your craving. Number 3 is your routine. This is what you actually end up doing because of the craving. So for example, you felt the urge, the craving to pick up your phone after you heard the notification. Your routine would be you actually reaching for it and grabbing your phone. And then finally, you have your reward. This is the positive outcome that you get from completing the routine. So after you pick up your phone and you feel that satisfaction of reading the message from your loved one, or reading something funny, or reading that thing that you wanted to read. And so now, here's how you apply this to your own goals. This might seem backwards, but the first thing that you have to do is actually think about the routine that you want to be doing before anything else. And then you have to think about a cue that's going to start the process. So for example, if I'm desiring to be productive and to get all my work done at work, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my phone on airplane mode, and then I'm going to put a timer on my phone. So I know that as soon as my phone is on airplane mode and I have a timer set for 1 hour, I know it's time to grind. Number 2, once you have your cue, you have to start building a craving around it. This might look like you telling yourself or thinking to yourself what the result is going to be if you are able to accomplish the goal. And so for me, I start to think about the fact that if I'm productive, I get to go home and not think about work. I get to spend time with my wife. I get to spend time with my friends or my loved ones. I get to sit at home and not be stressed out about anything. And I get to play video games. And then finally, after I actually complete the routine, I'm very clear about what my reward is. I know that because all my work is done, I get to go home and just spend time with my wife. And then my reward is I spend time with my wife, or I get to play video games, or I get to just decompress and relax without thinking, oh, I didn't complete this, or I have to get this done, without that mental toll of knowing that you left the day without completing everything. The point here is that you have to be very, very clear about every single step in the habit loop. You have to be clear about your routine. You have to be clear about your cue. You have to be clear about your craving, and you have to be clear about what your reward is going to be. And number 3, the third thing that you can do to be consistent is to remind yourself daily. Spend about 5 to 10 minutes setting your weekly and your daily goals, and then make sure that everything you do daily is aligned to getting you closer to meeting those goals. Something that I do that I think it's really helpful is I spend time setting a monthly goal, and then I break down those monthly goals into weekly goals, and then I take those weekly goals and I break them down into daily goals. And every single day, I go back and I review all of those goals so that I can make sure that I am actually taking steps forward every single day that are going to get me closer to these goals. My philosophy is that if I'm constantly thinking about my goals, there's no way that I'm going to forget them. Duh. And there's no way that I'm going to live in misalignment. And a great bonus is that I'm not wasting any days. And finally, my personal favorite, you have to take responsibility for your life. No one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself.
I saved myself.
You save yourself!
There's not a magic genie. God is not going to fix your situation. If anything, God is going to give you the opportunities to fix your situation yourself, which means you have to act. You have to do something. It sucks because I've been there. I used to be in my situation stuck, waiting for somebody to miraculously come and save me, to send me money, to donate money to me, for me to get a raise or whatever it was, for my stocks to blow up, for Dogecoin to explode, right? I used to be waiting on all these things to change my situation, but I actually never did anything myself. It wasn't until I decided, you know what? It is my responsibility. I have to be the one to act. It wasn't until I decided those things that my life started to change. And so for you, the life that you desire is on the other side of that decision and that action and that time that you have to put in to get there. So stop wasting your time, because again, your inconsistency is no longer just impacting you. It's impacting the people around you, and it's impacting the future generations that are coming. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, you can comment below. You can message me. You can follow me on my other social media accounts. I will post them in the descriptions. But again, let's continue this conversation. One of the things that I'm really good at is helping other people. And so if you really do need my help, I'm here for that. My name is Braylon Paulino, and I'm with Be Anything Life Coaching.